The night they came for Jesus, something happened that no gospel records. As Roman soldiers surrounded the garden, Jesus turned to his closest disciples, the ones who'd proven they could handle the deepest truths, and he whispered something urgent. Not a prayer, not a blessing, but a weapon. "The Archons know I'm leaving," he said. "They're going to intensify their grip on humanity. They'll trap minds, harvest energy, and keep souls cycling through reincarnation forever. But I'm giving you 2 words, just 2. When you speak them with understanding, their trap dissolves instantly. You slip through their fingers like water." Peter's eyes widened. "Just 2 words can break their entire system?" Jesus nodded. "The Archons control through illusion. These 2 words shatter that illusion. They've hidden this knowledge for thousands of years. But tonight, you're going to learn what they don't want you to know. You're going to say these words before you sleep, because right now they're watching, and they don't want you to remember. I'm about to give you those 2 words, the same words Jesus taught to protect the chosen ones from the Archon's energy harvesting system. You need to say them tonight, not because I'm telling you to, but because you're a chosen one, and chosen ones are the primary targets. If you've ever felt like something is feeding off your energy, comment, "I feel it," below. Let me know you're here and that you're ready for the truth. You need to understand what you're up against before I give you the weapon to escape it. The Archons aren't demons. They're not evil gods. They're parasitic consciousness entities that exist in a dimension just outside human perception, and they have one job: to keep you trapped in this reincarnation cycle forever. Why? Because chosen ones emit a specific frequency. Your consciousness is brighter, more powerful, and more connected to the source than the average human. To the Archons, you're like a battery. Every time you feel fear, anger, shame, or despair, they feed. They harvest that energy. It sustains them. But here's what makes you dangerous to them. If you wake up fully, if you remember who you really are, you stop producing the low-frequency emotions they need. Worse, you become a beacon. Other souls see your light and start waking up too. The whole system starts collapsing. So, the Archons built a trap specifically for chosen ones. It's invisible. It operates through beliefs, social conditioning, and trauma that keeps replaying in your mind. Every time you think, "I'm not enough," "I'm broken," or "I'll never escape this," that's the trap tightening. And the most insidious part? They make you think these are your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your own failures. They hide behind your inner voice so you never suspect there's something else speaking through your mind. Jesus saw this system clearly. He called them the rulers of this world, the princes of the power of the air. He knew they controlled the reincarnation mechanism, the between-life memory wipe, and the false light that tricks souls into coming back to learn lessons or pay karmic debts. All lies, all part of the trap. And he gave the chosen ones 2 words to break free. Words aren't just sounds, they're commands in the operating system of reality. When spoken by someone with the right consciousness, a chosen one, words become code. They rewrite the program. The Archons built their trap using language, symbols, and concepts that limit your perception of what's possible. They convinced you that you're small, separate, and powerless. Those are words too, words that created your prison. Jesus understood that you could use words to dissolve what words created. Not complicated incantations or rituals, just 2 words, spoken with understanding and the frequency of someone who knows they're not a victim, but a creator. When a chosen one speaks these two words with full consciousness, several things happen simultaneously. First, the words emit a frequency the Archons can't tolerate. It's like shining light directly at something that only exists in darkness. They recoil, and the trap loosens. Second, the words activate dormant DNA, specifically the sequences that connect you directly to source consciousness, bypassing the archonic layers of reality. Your perception immediately begins expanding beyond the prison they built. Third, the words create a shield. Once spoken with understanding, they establish a field around your consciousness that makes you invisible to archonic feeding tubes. You're still here, but they can't lock onto your frequency anymore. But here's the critical part, and why Jesus only taught this to chosen ones. These words only work if you're operating from chosen one consciousness. If you speak them while still identified as a victim, as someone who needs saving, nothing happens. The Archons ignore it because they know you're still feeding them. But when a chosen one speaks them, someone who remembers their power, even if just for a moment, the effect is immediate. The trap doesn't just loosen, it shatters. That's why you're here. That's why this video found you. You're a chosen one. You've always been. And tonight, you're getting the weapon Jesus reserved for people exactly like you. The two words Jesus taught to the chosen ones are, I am. That's it. 2 words. 4 letters. One declaration that destroys the Archon's entire system. Before you think this is too simple, before your mind dismisses it, let me explain what happens when a chosen one speaks these words with understanding. I am is not a statement about yourself. It's not describing your personality, your body, or your history. I am is the name of God, the sound of consciousness aware of itself, pure existence before it became anything specific. When Moses asked the burning bush who was sending him, the voice didn't say, I am Yahweh, or I am the Creator. It said, I am that I am. The eternal present tense, the infinite speaking itself into recognition. The Archon's entire trap depends on you forgetting this, on you identifying as something limited, trapped in time, something with a beginning and an end, something small. Every time you say, I am weak, I am afraid, or I am stuck, you're using the most powerful words in existence to create prison bars. You're using the name of God to make yourself small, and the Archons amplify those statements. They make you believe them. They feed off the energy of you creating your own cage. But when you say just I am, with nothing after it, when you speak those 2 words and stop, you dissolve every identity the Archons attach to you, every limitation, and every belief that made you feedable. I am, spoken alone, is you claiming your true identity. Not human, not separate, not trapped. You are the infinite consciousness that the Archons have been trying to convince is finite. You are the source awareness they've been trying to hide from itself. And the moment you speak it with that understanding, their trap has nothing to hold on to. You're not the identity they created for you. You're not the story they fed you. You're the I am, the eternal, the infinite, the one thing in all of reality they have no power over. Jesus knew this. He said, before Abraham was, I am. Not I existed or I was alive. I am. Present tense, eternal, untrappable, and now you know it too. You can't just repeat I am like a robot and expect the archonic trap to dissolve. The words must be spoken from chosen one consciousness, from the part of you that remembers it's not trapped. Here's exactly how Jesus taught it. First, silence. Sit somewhere you won't be disturbed. Not meditation, not technique, just silence. Let your mind settle. Let the constant narrative quiet down. You need to speak these words from stillness, not from the chaos the Archons keep stirring in your thoughts. Second, feel into your existence. Before you speak, feel what it's like to simply exist, not as a person with a name and a story. Just raw existence, the awareness that notices, I am here, I'm aware, I exist. That's the frequency you need to access. That's chosen one consciousness. It's already inside you. You've just been distracted from it. Third, speak I am out loud. Not whispered, not shouted, clear, firm, and with absolute certainty. Not as a statement you hope is true, but as a declaration of what has always been true. But you forgot. As you speak the words, don't add anything after them. Don't say, I am strong or I am free, just I am. Period. Full stop. Let the infinite stand alone. Let your consciousness expand into the vastness of what those two words actually mean. You might feel resistance as you do this. That's the archonic programming trying to pull you back into limited identity. It will whisper, this is stupid. This won't work. You're just saying words. That's the trap fighting to keep you. Ignore it. Speak the words anyway, with feeling, with knowing, with the authority of someone who's remembering they were never actually trapped. They only believed they were. Fourth, stay in the silence after you speak. Don't rush to the next thought. Don't immediately start analyzing if it worked. Just sit in the vibration of what you just declared. I am. Let it settle into your consciousness. Let the archonic identity start dissolving in the presence of that truth. The more you feel into the words as you speak them, the more powerfully they work. This isn't magic. This is you using the command language of reality to delete the program the Archons installed in your mind. When a chosen one speaks I am correctly, with understanding and consciousness aligned, several things happen immediately. First, you'll feel a shift in your chest. It's not imagined. It's physical, like pressure releasing or invisible chains snapping. That's the archonic attachments breaking. Those feeding tubes they've had connected to your energy field. The words just severed them. They can't reattach while you're vibrating at the I am frequency. Second, your thoughts will slow down. The constant mental chatter, the anxiety loops, the repetitive fears, and the voice that criticizes everything you do. That's not all you. Much of it is archonic broadcasting. When you speak I am with power, their signal gets jammed. Your mind becomes quieter, clearer, and more yours. Third, you'll feel lighter. Literally, like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. Your body will feel less dense. That's because the archonic trap works by making you feel heavy, stuck, and burdened. When the trap dissolves, the heaviness goes with it. You remember your consciousness is piloting a body, not a body trying to find consciousness. Fourth, your perception will expand. The room around you will seem different. Colors might be brighter. Space might feel larger or more fluid. That's because you're no longer seeing through archonic filters. They limit your perception to keep you controllable. When those filters drop, even briefly, you see more of what's actually here. Some chosen ones experience full liberation on the first try. They speak, I am. The trap shatters completely, and they never feel the archonic grip again. They've permanently shifted out of victim frequency into creator frequency. Others experience it gradually. They speak the words, they feel the shift, but the trap starts rebuilding after a few hours or days. That's not failure. That's normal. You're undoing decades of programming. Of course it takes repetition. The key is this. Every time you speak I am with understanding, you weaken the trap. You strengthen your chosen one frequency. You make it harder for the Archons to reestablish their grip. Jesus didn't teach this as a one-time escape. He taught it as a practice, a way of continuously reminding yourself of the truth and staying in the frequency where the Archons can't touch you. And here's what they don't want you to know. The more chosen ones who speak these words, the weaker their entire system becomes. You're not just freeing yourself, you're helping to collapse the trap for everyone. After you speak "I am" tonight, your reality will begin shifting in ways you need to be prepared for. First, the Archons will test you. Within 24 to 48 hours, you'll face situations designed to pull you back into victim consciousness. Someone will trigger you. A problem will emerge. Something will go wrong. This isn't a coincidence. This is the trap trying to re-establish control. When it happens, don't fight it. Don't react emotionally. Just speak the words again. I am. Remind yourself that you're not the identity being triggered. You're the consciousness observing it. The Archons lose their grip every time you return to that recognition. Second, other chosen ones will find you. Once you've broken free from archonic frequency, you become visible to others who've also escaped. You'll start meeting people who randomly understand what you're going through, who speak the same language, and who recognize you as one of them. This isn't chance. This is the network of awakened chosen ones naturally connecting. The Archons kept you isolated. Now that you're free, you're joining the others who've escaped the trap. Third, your reality will become more fluid. When you're no longer feeding the Archons and no longer locked in their frequency of limitation, reality becomes responsive to your consciousness in ways it wasn't before. Synchronicities increase. Manifestations happen faster. Obstacles dissolve more easily. This isn't manifestation magic. This is you operating from your natural state as a creator without archonic interference. This is what reality was always supposed to feel like for chosen ones. Fourth, you'll start remembering. Memories will surface that the Archons suppressed. Abilities you had as a child that were conditioned out of you, or knowledge that you buried because it didn't fit the world they wanted you to believe in. Don't be afraid of what comes up. You're not going crazy. You're coming back to sanity. You're remembering what they made you forget. You can speak "I am" as often as you want, daily or multiple times a day. Every time you feel the trap trying to re-establish, speak the words. Every time you feel heavy, stuck, or afraid, return to "I am." It's your weapon, your shield, and your way back to truth. Jesus didn't give this to the chosen ones as a one-time key. He gave it as a practice, a way of life, and a constant remembering that you are not and never were what the Archons told you you were. Jesus taught the chosen ones two words, "I am," not as a belief, not as an affirmation, but as a weapon, as a command that dissolves the archonic trap the moment you speak it with chosen one consciousness. You're watching this video because you're a chosen one. You always have been. That's why your life has felt harder than everyone else's. That's why you've experienced things that don't make sense. That's why you feel like something has been feeding off you. Because something has been. The Archons identified you as high value, as someone whose energy could sustain them for lifetimes. They built the trap specifically for people like you. And they've been harvesting your fear, your pain, and your confusion for as long as you can remember. But tonight, you're breaking free. Not because I'm saving you, but because you're remembering you were never actually trapped. You only believed you were, and belief is what created the cage. When you speak "I am" tonight, with understanding, with feeling, and with the certainty of someone who's done being small, the trap shatters. The Archons lose their grip, and you step into the frequency you were always meant to operate from. the frequency where you're not a victim, where you're not broken, and where you're not stuck. The frequency of a chosen one who remembered their power. If this teaching resonated with you, if you felt the truth of it in your body, do 3 things right now. Hit that subscribe button. More chosen ones need this information. The Archons don't want this channel to grow. Prove them wrong. Leave a like. It tells the algorithm to show this to other chosen ones who are still trapped and don't know there's a way out. Comment, "I am," below. Let me know you're here. Let other chosen ones see they're not alone. Let the Archons see how many of us are waking up. Tonight, before you sleep, find a quiet moment. Sit in silence. Feel into your existence and speak the words, "I am," out loud, with certainty, with knowing. The Archons are watching to see if you'll actually do it. The trap is waiting to see if you'll choose freedom. And the other chosen ones are waiting to welcome you home. You've been fighting this trap your whole life. Tonight, you're getting the weapon Jesus reserved for people exactly like you. 2 words, 4 letters. 1 declaration that changes everything. Say them tonight. Break the trap. Remember who you are. The 2 words are yours now. Jesus gave them to the chosen ones to escape the Archon's trap. I've passed them to you. What you do with them is up to you. You're not a victim. You're not broken. You're not trapped. You are I am. And the moment you remember that, everything changes. If this story has changed the way you look at the hidden forces of our world, please subscribe to our channel. We are dedicated to unearthing the history and the truths that they have tried so desperately to bury. Stand in your power and help us cultivate a new future. The next treasure of ancient wisdom will be revealed soon. Like this video to help spread the light to others.